joining us in just a minute. We have a lot to talk about this morning, including that changing mask guidance and how it's impacting Ohio, as well as the latest on the Olympics. But Holly, we start with you because boy, you were tracking showers and scattered thunderstorms, but you say things continue to change. What's the latest?
Yeah, I mean, it's been weakening a little bit, but we are seeing thunderstorms to our west. If you're watching with us live right now, nothing is severe. So that's the most important thing. So even though we've got stormy weather around Toledo right now, we're not seeing any severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's inspiring. We do have the potential for strong to severe storms, gusty winds, and very heavy rain, and even small hail is not out of the question. So we'll be here for you, of course, throughout the Today Show, and you'll see updates right here. Once we get through today, we're going to cool it down. So today's highs will be in the 80s, and it will continue with scattered shower and storm chances throughout the day. Tomorrow, we're lucky to hit 70, turning partly sunny, perhaps a leftover shower. And then it looks like a beautiful Saturday. Sunshine, upper 70s for highs, pleasant. Below normal a little bit for this time of the year, but pleasant.
Holly, you're going to have me pulling out my sweaters tomorrow. You know how cold.
With our hoodie on tomorrow.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And if you all want to hear more of Holly's forecast, you can go to wkyc.com/weather, and you can track the weather along with us. And don't forget to download that 3 News app. So Holly is heading off and jumping off to talk to WTAM to give them the forecast. Now, remember, I know those of you who are watching live on YouTube, you can go ahead and put a comment in the comment section to let us know your perspective on the stories that we are covering this morning. And in fact, on YouTube, if you see the post, it says, what you need to know as COVID cases continue to increase in Ohio. And so, Austin, you were on this story this morning. What is going on?
Yeah, so there's we got our photographer Tim Coffey over here repeating the words that I'm saying. Anyway, so
how do you see him? He's behind you. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Austin and Jasmine are like, if you're watching, you're like, how are they talking to each other? They're like one cubicle over from each other. So that's that's a little behind the scenes for us in our newsroom. We are actually all in different spots in our newsroom. But Austin, I know people are longing to hear about COVID and Ohio. And Dave, welcome to the show. Go ahead, Austin.
Okay, so 4 Northeast Ohio counties have been up to substantial level of COVID-19 spread. And then in the past 48 hours, the CDC announced that people should go back to wearing masks indoors in areas where COVID-19 transmission is high. And now those 4 counties the CDC is recommending that they do that. Those 4 counties include Erie, Lorain, Ashland, and Carroll counties. So they 48 hours ago, they were considered a yellow level, which is considered good. And then now they've been up to orange, which is considered a county with a substantial spread of COVID right now. So yeah, again, the CDC is recommending all residents in those areas should wear masks in public indoor spaces, regardless of your vaccination status. And speaking of vaccination status, and again, this is all being driven by the Delta variant, according to health officials in these counties. But what's interesting and kind of, I guess the most interesting about this is that in Lorain County, which has just been up from a yellow to an orange, actually has like a pretty high vaccination rate. It's 50%, which is better than the state as a whole. So the state right now of Ohio has a 46% vaccination rate, and that's kind of reflecting what the United States is as well. Again, Lorain County is 50%, and then they're also seeing these COVID cases rise. So taking down those 4 counties that are seeing these rising COVID cases and been raised from the yellow to the orange. Lorain County is sitting at 50%. Erie County, a little higher than 48%, Carroll County, 34.9%, and then 32.7% in Ashland County. So these aren't like in some counties in Ohio where we're seeing, I think the lowest vaccination rate is about 14%. So these are like a little, obviously higher, 50% is the highest one. And then the lowest one is 32%. So I think that's the thing that has health officials concerned the most, because people are vaccinated, but they're still seeing this rise in COVID cases. So of course, we're going to keep you updated on air and online at wkyc.com about all of this.
And so those 4 counties again, I just want to make sure I have them correctly. I wrote them down as you were saying, because when you started, it was a little echo so we couldn't hear you. Lorain, Erie, Carroll, and Ashland counties here in Ohio.
Yep.
Okay. And so they're recommending that in those 4 counties you wear masks indoors because of the high cases.
That's the recommendation right now. Yeah. So in public indoor spaces, regardless of vaccination, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
If I can just back up too with no, because a lot of people have been asking me, well, like, wait, why isn't the vaccine not working? What are they doing? So within the past few days, they've gotten more information about the Delta variant and the viral load that a vaccinated person. So even if you're vaccinated, they're watching how much of the viral load a vaccinated person can carry of the Delta variant. And they're finding that it's a little bit higher than the other variants. And so that's the concern there with people who are vaccinated, especially for obviously the concern for a lot of parents is mostly who I'm hearing from when our kids either can't be vaccinated or aren't vaccinated yet for whatever reason. So that's the concern, is that somebody who's unvaccinated who might have the Delta variant, even if you come into contact with them and you're vaccinated, it's slightly higher, but it is a higher chance of carrying the virus and passing it along to somebody who is unvaccinated. And that's where you start to see like families coming into concern. So I just feel like I've had a lot of people asking me about that. And of course, this is just changing, as Austin and I talked about this morning. Like, it's just changing day by day with this Delta variant because they're getting more information. They're able to study it more and see it as it's unfolding. So that's the concern there. And then, of course, if we see these cases rise, and Lorain County is right next to Cuyahoga County, and Cuyahoga County is right next to, when you start to see all these counties, the concern is it'll spread throughout Ohio. And when we start to be one of those states that is seeing a higher case number, and you're starting to see it spreads more, especially as we get into the fall with cold and flu and with schools going back in, that's what they're really paying attention to.
So I just want to make sure that I'm understanding you correctly, because I don't understand things at times. So I'll just ask the question, the viral load, is that how much of the virus that we're carrying?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Just want to make sure.
So when you're vaccinated, as doctors, I've done a couple interviews with doctors, all sorts of different doctors. And then of course, we've had the national experts on too. So when you're vaccinated, the viral load, the vaccine helps with the virus, the viral load that's in your body. So think of the little balls that we keep seeing, the little animated, gray and red COVID germs
that we had a piñata in the newsroom.
Yes. So the number of those, basically, what I'm understanding, like if you're vaccinated, even if you come into contact with somebody who does have COVID, you might not have enough of the virus to have an effect on you. Is how I'm understanding it. So the viral load is just, when you get a bad cold or whatever, it's just, it's the virus that's just taking over your.
All right, Mo, you're gonna.
So
have
I am
go to
not
medical school in a
a
minute.
medical expert, but that's
You've
Clearly.
been interviewing so many of them for the mom podcast.
I've been, especially with kids, it's just become such a concern with kids heading back into school, because the Delta variant, they're saying, is having a little bit more of an effect. And we're talking about smaller percentages here, but like I did the interview with Amy Edwards, Dr. Amy Edwards, that I still have to send you, Danielle. I mean, it's when you come to kids and being a parent, you take a look at risks, and nobody wants to take any risks when it comes to their child. I mean, like I mentioned probably yesterday or the day before, it's like as an adult, you're going to throw yourself in front of the bus to put your kid out of the way. So, it's just, you don't want to take any chances with your kids. And so I think that's why a lot of us have been paying so close attention to this variant, the cases that are spreading, because we're getting back into that school year. And we all know how, like, working from home, school from home, masks in schools, school sports, all of this gets affected as the case numbers rise.
Right. And speaking of not taking any chances, today, you know, we're expected to hear from the president. So President Biden is expected to mandate that all of the federal workers, if you work for the federal government, that you need to get a vaccination, or you will have to face like really strict COVID protocol. So we're seeing what the president actually comes out to say. We'll be tracking that, and you can stick with the latest on WKYC.com. Also on WKYC.com, as you know, I'm pushing our website because you could take us with you everywhere you go, especially if you download that 3 News app. But our Olympics coverage, because remember, WKYC and NBC, we are your home of the Olympics. Jasmine, you are our, as Dave called you, our gold medal Olympic reporter this morning. So what's up with the latest?
Yeah. Austin, I forgot to tell you, Dave gave you the bronze medal, by the way.
That's right.
So
congrats, Austin.
Just so you know.
That's great. Thank you.
At least you medal, you know, right?
Yeah.
Right. Notice you didn't get the silver.
Sure. That's great. Thanks, Dave.
Someone's pouty today.
You all.
He is pouty. All right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Today we're talking for the Olympics. We're talking replacements. We're talking gold medals and the heat. So first up, it's the men's. U.S. won 21 medals so far, and 8 of them are gold. And Caleb Dressel, he won his first gold medal in the 100 beater. So Bobby Fink did a whole huge upset. He was falling behind and then came out on top. So congratulations to him. I also wanted to mention Katie Ledecky also put up a late push, but she came up short in her 4x200 relay. The team finished second to China. So they finished second to China, but they still broke all records for the US. So it's like, how do you break all the records and you still come up short? So that's just the definition of the Olympics. But then they're also talking about tennis, how they the temperature is it's reaching record high temperatures. So I got a chance to talk to Tim. I don't know how true this is. We gotta make sure, and we gotta fact check this. But he was saying
Let him know who Tim is.
Yeah,
Tim, our photographer.
Coffee is our photographer. He mentioned that last year they had some of the best weather ever. Perfect for the Olympics, perfect for tennis.
That's true. That is true. I read that. Yeah.
All of that. And then this year they're reaching record high temperatures, heat exhaustion. One of the quotes, I want to read you one of the quotes because this was kind of scary. This was, he said, "Who is going to be responsible if he dies on the court?" That's like,
I heard the guy say that.
I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, that's really scary, but it's, it's triple digits over there. Imagine being, in that and trying to run back and forth playing tennis.
Just really quick, because I think that I have a tennis career now. I'm trying to
you said what, Mo? You think
I think I have a tennis career.
She's a doctor, she's an anchor, and she's a tennis star.
It's one of my COVID hobbies, but and I kind of mentioned this morning when we were doing this, the courts, I mean, especially depending on what the material is, the field reach temperature up, in Tokyo was 99, but then on the court, I mean, it's so much hotter.
It feels hotter.
Yeah. So I mean, there's clay courts, then there's the synthetic material, and I'm not finding it right now. But anyway, that can have an effect too. That can make it feel even higher than that feels like 99.
So I'll let you go find that. We gotta get to Dave really quickly because I know you all have to leave and do the cut-ins for the Today Show, but we gotta celebrate 2 local athletes this morning. Really quickly, Dave, let's give a shout out to them.
Yeah. So anyway, because of the record number of COVID cases, there was Sam Kendricks tested positive for COVID-19, can't compete. He won the bronze and is the reigning world champ, the bronze in Rio. So that departure cleared the way for an alternate and Chardon native, Matt Ludwig. He's traveling to Tokyo as we speak. We caught up with the University of Akron grad at the airport. His story is going to be later on Channel 3 and of course WKYC.com.
Right, Dave?
Sorry?
Pole vault, the pole vault.
Yes, pole vaulter. Sorry, I forgot to throw that in there. I mean, geez, how do we not throw the sport in? My bad. You're right. So
I got your back, Dave. I got your back.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, it's going to be crazy because when he gets off the plane, he's going to have to be ready for competition. So he placed 4th in the trials. So he was the alternate. Top 3 go. Now he's in. And then Jacob Wookie won 2 rounds of competition. Masculine archer. Okay, didn't forget the sport there. He beat out the competitor from Chile, and he went on to win against, and he's going to take on a competitor from Indonesia, and went on to win there too against an Indonesian opponent in a shootout. And there's several more rounds for the finals there. So there you go. One last thing, breaking news, Lee Kiefer, born in Cleveland. She won the gold medal in women's individual foil. Well, they were just competing in the team foil event overnight. They fell to the Russian Olympic Committee, and they went on to win the gold medal. And then they just lost here moments ago, fighting for the bronze against Italy. So there's your local update.
Oh, darn it, Dave. You should have started with that one so we can
build it up.
Good news.
That's a downer.
I wanted to mention, Mo, I did find out with the tennis courts, it could be 15 degrees hotter than the temperature.
And I'm looking, and it looks like it's the hard court, that synthetic material.
Yeah.
It looks like it was grass courts in.
Yep.
That's the only difference I saw.
All righty. Well, thank you all for joining us for this On the Go post show, because the directors are going to be in Mo and Dave's ear in just a minute saying, you got to get out there to the set. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow morning starting at 4:30 on Go. Have a great Thursday, everybody. Stay dry.
Bye.